Think T to the G, man, who you think it gonna be? And we're back on our quest to find the truth about these urban stories that come straight out of Detroit. A lot of you guys told me in the comments that the last videos I was doing reactions to were cap. So now we're on a hunt for the real and the truth. And thanks to some of you guys in the comments, you let me know. And this one's gonna be Detroit split, 6 Mile versus 7 Mile.
This time we head to Detroit, Michigan. Ooh.
I heard supposedly he was supposed to be somewhat accurate.
Even saying that gives me goosebumps. And it should give you goosebumps as well, unless you've been living under a rock. But in order for this video to make sense, we need to take you back into history. But before that, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new to Swamp Stories. Let's head back to the 1950s, a time when Detroit was the wealthiest city in America. Yes, you heard that correctly. Detroit was once the wealthiest city in America. Some even claim it was the wealthiest city in the world. That's because of the automotive industry. Ford, General Motors, and Chrysler were all headquartered in Detroit. These companies were thriving, and it opened up thousands of good jobs. Because of these opportunities, so many people began moving to Detroit. The number one place people moved from was the South, and the vast majority of them were African American. They found good jobs, bought homes, but things took a left turn. The locals were not very accepting, and that's putting it in a nice way. They did not like the shifting demographics of their city, so they did everything in their power to hold these people back. This seems like a common theme in American history, but they were not hired by the police department, fire department, and they were not permitted to move up within companies either. On top of this, local banks would not grant them loans in upscale neighborhoods.
All right, cool. So does anybody want to tell me when this changed?
This forced them to live in the poorest parts of town. To make matters worse for everyone, strikes at GM, Ford, and Chrysler caused them to move their operations out of Detroit. Many jobs were lost. In fact, by 1958, 20% of Detroit was unemployed.
Wow.
Tensions began to rise, and people had enough of being treated unfairly. That takes me to one of the craziest events in American history. July 23rd, 1967.
As governor of the state of Michigan, I do hereby officially request the immediate deployment of federal troops into Michigan to assist state and local authorities in reestablishing law and order.
Oh, they had martial law?
Joined in this request by Jerome.
Yo, nobody ever told me about all this. Yeah, so we finally got some accurate. Okay.
Kavanaugh, mayor of the city of Detroit.
Detroit went into complete chaos. For 6 days, the city was taken over and burned down. It got so out of control that the National Guard had to take over. This historical event changed America forever. It was the biggest resistance there had ever been. Detroit in 1967 set the tone for the rest of the country to stand up for what they deserve. It also completely changed Detroit's demographics. 75% of Detroit's white population would leave the city.
Whoa.
Many businesses would leave the city as well, and things would begin to completely fall apart. Detroit lost over half its population, leaving entire neighborhoods of abandoned houses. The government began...
This is wild. I used to wonder why they was... See, they never told us why it looked like that. They just made it seem like Black people don't know how to take care of themselves, and we just let the city go to I said we, like I live there. Black people in general let their city go to shambles, like they don't know how to upkeep nothing. See, I don't like how you got to do some research to understand, like there was reasons why it looks. I mean, that's crazy. If you're not from Detroit, you wouldn't know that, because when you live outside of that region, they don't tell you what happened like this. They just put it on the news, like, oh, they're doing it again, the usual suspects. So, like, it's good to get some history on this. That's dope. Shout out Swamp. Link for the original video will be in the description.
Collecting less and less tax money, so schools closed all over the city. Police were laid off, and emergency services were cut. This became a huge problem.
Layoffs are looming.
But when someone calls 911, there isn't an ambulance to respond. It may take an hour. In Southwest Detroit, a month ago, there were 3 shootings, separate. There wasn't one ambulance to respond. The police had to transport. How long is that going to continue? Why is that allowed? Why is that acceptable?
Wow.
It doesn't cheat me, and it doesn't cheat the members of our association. It cheats the people in this city, the grandmothers, the parents, the fathers, the husbands, the wives, the kids. It's absolutely absurd.
A lot of the things we take for granted in California, Detroit just didn't have. It got to the point where it could be classified as a third world city. Now, let's talk about crime, something Detroit is no stranger to. Let me compare them to other cities. In 2020, Detroit's homicide rate was 46 per 100,000. New York City's was 5.9. In Los Angeles, it was 8.7. And in Oakland, it was 25.
Oakland?
Put that into perspective. Oakland is California's most dangerous city by far.
Shout out
and yet Detroit's homicide rate is nearly double. What the heck is going on in Detroit? How is the city so dangerous? Well, in this video, we are going to cover the east side of Detroit.
Yo, that was the best analogy, the way he could have put it, synopsis or whatever, like how he surmised it. Because me being from the town, like in that area, you know what I mean? So now I know, like, yo, now I know how to compare that to. It's y'all going through, y'all up under it. Y'all up under it.
Detroit.
That's crazy.
But before we get into it, let me run the intro.
No, thank you. Oh, actually, you put people in it? Oh, okay, cool.
Also known as SMB.
Yeah, let's go 7 Mile.
Let me introduce you to 7 Mile, also known as SMB. The U.S. Department of Justice classify them as the most dangerous in the city. SMB controls an area called the Red Zone. It's between 7 Mile and 8 Mile in the east side of Detroit. Why they call it the Red Zone? You'll see. This is where they do everything from pharmacy activities to recording studios and, most importantly, catching a whole lot of people see their last moments in the Red Zone.
Oh, wow.
In fact, they made a graphic of all those who lost their life in this small area. But let's talk about the pharmacy side of things,
crazy.
Because that's what they're really known for. They run a huge operation that supplies West Virginia with everything it needs. Here's how it works. SMB buys large amounts for a low price in Detroit.
First off, if he's even somewhat accurate about this, who told him all this? Like, yo, somebody snitching on operation.
Detroit, then bring it out to West Virginia to sell at 4 times the cost. They get it there in 3 ways. They send guys in rental cars. They also send people on Greyhound buses. But lastly, they use stuffers. Stuffers are used for smaller deliveries. They're girls that hide everything in a certain area. You know, yeah, they would pay them $1,000 per trip. The number one thing they stress is driving the speed limit the entire way. Use cruise control if you can, because you can't give any reason to get pulled over. SMB began making over $80,000 a week doing this. That's when they caught many people's attention with all their fancy cars and jewelry. They became big ballers in Detroit. SRTs, Scat Packs, and M-Series BMWs parked in the hood. They weren't the only ones getting
That's how every urban book starts, right?
rich in Detroit, though. That brings me to their rivals. Well, they have a lot of rivals. In fact, they're surrounded by them. But their main rival is 6 Mile Chedda Grove. These guys are located about a mile down from the Red Zone, specifically around Cedar Grove Street. Thus the name Chedda Grove. Their main representative is the rapper Peasy, whose real name is Philip Peaks. 6 Mile is filled with pharmacists as well, and they are known to help Ohio, Kentucky, and Tennessee with whatever they need. I think they deserve a shout out because both 6 Mile and 7 Mile are providing medicine to those in need. Here's how it works for 6 Mile. They attempt to make business connections in different states, and when a 6 Mile boy successfully makes a connection, it becomes his lane. This means that he is now responsible for this distribution. Both sides have similar methods, and they also have similar results. They are ballers. 6 Mile is up there just like their 7 Mile rivals. They weren't always known as rivals, though. That started around 2014. That's when everyone in the east side would click up against SMB. 6 Mile Chedda Grove, the hustle.
Wait. Hold on, man. Hold on, just out of nowhere, there's like, you know what? We don't like them niggas over there. We're gonna start clicking up. Like, wait, what? Hold on, did I just miss that?
Everyone in the east side would click up. That started around just like their 7 Mile rivals. They weren't always known as rivals, though. That started around 2014.
Okay.
That's when everyone in the east side would click up against SMB. 6 Mile.
Just no reason. Just you know what? F them dudes over there getting a bag. Like, just I don't even. Okay, somebody in the comments, somebody from Detroit, let me know. There's got to be some backstory. I know y'all ain't gonna go out sad like that. Like, oh, they get money, we get money, so we gonna start hating. Like, I know Detroit too player for that. I know that Detroit way too player. There's got to be some backstory behind that.
Chedda Grove, the Hustle Boys, and Max Out 220 would all band together. So it really became 7 Mile versus everyone. The craziest thing about all this is that both sides decided to make Instagram pages to post everybody they drop. And yeah, this got crazy. So let's get into it. Actually, before that, let me say this. Before you guys run to the comments saying my information is wrong, just wait. This is what the police put out there. So this is how I'm going to tell it. If I were to actually give the street version of the story, you guys would call me a snitch. So you can't have it both ways. So let's get back to the story. It's 2014 and 7 Mile would take some big losses. First,
let me know what you think about that, because honestly, I have a channel myself where I do this type of content, and I follow the same thing. I go exactly with the police report. I don't want to solve no cases. I just want to tell the story. Like I'm not trying to I got one job, tell the story. I'm not trying to help I mean? So, well, yeah, let me know in the comments. I agree with them wholeheartedly. So let's get into the tea.
It's 2014 and 7 Mile would take some big losses. First, Jason Gill, also known as White Boy, would get killed in February. Then rapper Hardwork Jake would be hit multiple times in August. He would survive though, but none would be bigger than the top dog. Let me introduce you to Devin McLaurin. He goes by the nickname Block, and he was the leader of 7 Mile, and he was very well known for putting in work. May 1st, 2015. Block will be driving in his blue Crown Victoria down Hayes Street, right in the heart of 6 Mile Chedda Grove territory. He would reach the end of 6 Mile territory when BAM! Right after it happened, the rivals would take to Instagram and post, "We got Block out the way. B-Man, you know you next." That brings me to B-Man, whose real name is Billy Arnold.
Yo. Okay. That's treacherous. Like, yo, how you get somebody out of here and then go on the internet and be like, "You next, buddy"? Like I don't know. What would you do in that situation if you was Billy Arnold? I don't even know what happened to Billy Arnold, but if I know that you just smoked my mans and you say "you next," or you know what I mean? Let me know in the comments what y'all would do.
Another 7 Mile top dog. He knew the rivals wanted to get him too, so he made sure that he would get to them first. He wouldn't do it alone though. Block's girlfriend M Thang was ready to ride for him. She would text B-Man right away, and she would set up a plan. She would drive around the 6 Mile area and scout. She would take notes of the cars the rivals drive and all their whereabouts. She would send all this information to B-Man, and that's when he would go to Instagram and post an official hit list. Yes, you heard that correctly. He would post pictures of those he wanted from 6 Mile. So just 6 hours after Block passed away, B-Man would get in his car and head down to the 6 Mile area. He would go look for a particular individual, a man named Philip Peaks, also known as Peasy. The rapper was nowhere to be found though. Instead, B-Man would find Peasy's friend Raphael Carter with his 2 young children. Regardless, he would hop out of his car and BAM! A week would go by.
You telling Detroit, y'all hopping out on running down on kids with 2014, y'all was with that activity. Yeah, y'all earned y'all titles, your nicknames, all that.
May 8th, 2015. M Thang would give B-Man a crucial drop. She would tell him to pull up to 6 Mile, specifically Hayes Street. She would tell him to look for a brown Chevy Impala with tinted windows. B-Man would stop what he's doing and hop in his car. He would drive right down to 6 Mile. That's when he sees the Chevy Impala. He hops out of the car and BAM!
Dang, who was that?
He hops out of the car and
they was on some get back.
BAM!
Oh, damn.
B-Man would get home and go straight to Instagram. He would post a picture of Devontae with a laughing emoji saying, "Got him." 2 days later.
Wait a minute. I can see why this is in police evidence. That's why he's posting that. I mean, that's why Swamp Stories is posting it. Because, fam, like, y'all went straight to the internet right after y'all did that and posted them and said, "We did." Y'all got it.
Later would be Mother's Day. But B-Man was not with his mother that day. He would be sliding around 6 Mile. He would find a car with 4 6 Mile dudes inside of it, and then he would start clapping. The guys would run away. One of the guys is a man named Darnell Rogers, and he happens to have a baby on the way. On June 6, 2015,
why do you say it like that too? And he's got a baby on the way. I don't understand. I don't get the reference. I mean, is it because he ran? Because if I didn't have a baby on the way, I'm still running.
The guys would run away. One of the guys is a man named Darnell Rogers, and he happens to have a baby on the way. On June 6, 2015, Darnell hosts a baby shower to welcome his new baby boy. Well, B-Man got news of the event, and in typical B-Man fashion, he was not having it. B-Man would...
This is not funny at all, but the way Swamp is telling this shit is starting to sound a little funny. He said, and he was not having it. You can't even have a baby shower around here, man. Like, nah, man. Like, nothing happened. You knocked off the homie. You can't do nothing. Can't get a job. You can't kick it, skate with your smoke with your nothing, man. Like, dang. I mean, you did get on the internet and say he next. So, I mean, you can never choose what somebody's reaction is going to be to whatever you put out there towards that person. I'll tell you that much. I don't think this is funny, but I just think how he's saying and how he set it up. But the circumstance, he said,
and in typical B-Man fashion, he was not having it. B-Man would pull up to the baby shower, and bam!
Breaking news right now out of Roseville. 2 people shot at a banquet hall.
One woman tells us family and friends were there for a baby shower.
7 Action News reporter Jane Park live at the scene of the latest.
Roseville police are not releasing any details, but detectives have been out here for several hours at the Athena Hall Banquet Center on Gratiot, gathering evidence after this reported double shooting.
Darnell would survive, but regardless, 6 Mile would make sure to return the favor.
Okay.
7 Mile's Aaron Carter would be sitting on his porch. That's when 2 men pull up. The men chase him through the house, into the backyard, and bam!
Wait. How? Somebody in the comments let me know how you could be sitting on your porch and somebody can run at you and chase you through your own house. RP that, man. That's crazy though. RP Aaron Hayes, man. That's crazy though. I like this video. Let me know if it's accurate. I like
That's when 2 men pull up. The men chase him through the house, into the backyard, and bam!
Sucks.
For a few months, everyone would assume that they wouldn't get caught. But things would come crashing down quick for 7 Mile. They threw a big party at a local club called The Horse. The celebration would be to remember Devin McLaurin.
Oh, okay.
Well, after that night, B-Man would get pulled over. And this is where they found everything they needed. He, along with Arlandis Shaw and Keithon Porter, would go down. Block's girlfriend M-Thang would go down as well. And here's how it would all play out. M-Thang would get 10 years. Rapper Hardwork Sonny would get life. Arlandis Shaw would get life. And finally, B-Man would get more than life.
Oh,
Things would come crashing down for 6 Mile as well. In December 2016, they would get taken down. 11 guys from 6 Mile would go down, including Peasy. Well, eventually Peasy would get out, and he would become one of Detroit's biggest rappers.
Oh, okay.
He would still be in Detroit, though. And on February 4th, 2018, he would perform at a rap battle on the west side of Detroit. Well, he ended up winning the rap battle, and he was given $2,000. After the show, he would stop at a gas station with the money in his hand. That's when a man would pull up beside him and ask for the money. Peasy was not giving it up, so bam! Well, Peasy would be all right, and he would elevate his career to even higher levels.
Wait a minute, dude. Oh, that sounded like a weird situation. You telling me you worked really hard, won a rap battle with splashing your money. Somebody tried to take it. You wasn't going. You got shot. Did they get the money after you got shot, or did you keep the 2? I just need to know. Somebody let me know if he kept the 2.
Levels. But yet, he would still be in Detroit. July 16th, 2021.
I'd have been moved. I'm sorry, y'all. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry. Like, if it's double the town, I'm sorry. Like, it was double work. No, nah. Sorry, y'all. What? U-Haul breaking leases. What? Furniture moving. What? Leaving furniture. What? Junk for less. Y'all had that. What? Nah. What? I see the white folks got gone. When y'all should level with the white folk. That's what y'all should. Yup.
PZ would be asleep in his car, parked in his driveway.
People be sitting on their porch, sleep in the car, like sleep in the car. You got a Maybach. Why you sleep in the car?
2021. PZ would be asleep in his car, parked in his driveway. Mind you, this is way out in the suburbs of Rochester Hills.
Okay.
Well, someone gave out his drop because two men would pull up behind him. They would open his door and pull him out of the car. PZ would wake up and start fighting the men off. The men would eventually leave, but they would be found. A man from Birmingham, Alabama named Marquise Pope would get arrested. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this first Detroit episode.
Yo, that was wild. That whole thing. I did not want to laugh at certain parts, but like it was funny. I don't take anyone's passing for comedy. But this whole thing I didn't know was going to be so informative. I like how he gave the backstory. I like this reaction. Let me know if I should do some more reactions towards swamp stories involved. And yeah, if you made it this far, that means you put in some paint where it ain't. And for that, you need to be thanked. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, share to be aware. Put me in that algorithm because I need to be there, man. I know there's 10 other streamers out there doing it like me, but
fuck that little 10. I'm maxed out.